Just a few weeks ago, Ubisoft was being praised for their Men's Mental Health Awareness Month post. Everybody loved that they did that, especially when no other companies had, and they gained a lot of goodwill. But unfortunately, they now have destroyed that because we're finding out that they have slowed their free currency game in Rainbow Six Siege to a pathetic crawl and then immediately dropped their most expensive skin in a decade. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I have to say this all the time, just because a company does one or two good things does not mean that they are a good company. Ubisoft has been putting out trash titles for years. They haven't been listening to their customers, and sure, I think it is important to give companies credit where credit is due, like with the Men's Mental Health Awareness Month post. I think that that was super cool of them to do. I think that that was good of them to do. They had said it's okay to take the mask off. Strength and vulnerability are not mutually exclusive. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We'd like to encourage you to reach out to your friends, ask them how they're doing, pick up a game together, look out for one another. You matter. When no other company is doing this, yeah, it does stand out, especially when their community is, primarily men. Though, just because they did that, which was good, we couldn't forget about the years of bad content, and now they're right back to their old scummy ways, because we're finding out as the honeymoon fades on Rainbow Six Siege's Big Siege X update that dropped a payload of welcome quality of life improvements on the aging FPS last week, players have identified new ways Ubisoft is stinking up the joint. You cannot trust them to do what is best for you. You cannot trust them to do what is best for their community. And sure, I understand that a company needs to make money. That is their focus at the end of the day. But they could still make money in a way that is not a complete scam to people. They could still be making money if they just created high quality content to sell to people. It's like with full price DLCs, or I guess I should say like standard for DLCs, like Lies of P, right? It's a $30 DLC. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, if I already spent $60 on the game, that's $90. The $30 is worth it. It's like with Shadow of the Erdtree. The $40 was worth it. People are willing to pay half the price of a brand new game for an update. If that update has good content, you don't constantly need to be selling overpriced skins and bundles. You just need to make it. And I think that this skin is cool, but price it really well. It says Ubisoft is facing massive backlash to some ugly changes to XP and renown gain in Siege X. The amount of renown Siege's free currency used to unlock operators and many cosmetics, but not all, earned simply for playing matches has been slashed dramatically, in some cases, by 200 to 300%, which is such a shame to hear. Now, I personally am not somebody who actively plays R6, but I still want what is best for the community. Even if I'm not somebody who actively plays a game, I still want that game to thrive. I want it to do good because there are so many people who love it and put so much time and money and effort into it. I don't want things to go to shit, but unfortunately, that's just all Ubisoft really knows how to do now is create slop. I can understand this for free-to-play players, but for people who already bought the game, really? Somebody said. For context, Siege used to reward hundreds of renown for winning a match, depending on how many rounds were won, how well you did as an individual, and if the team had boosters activated. A new operator, the hottest ticket item for the majority of players, costs 25,000 renown, so under the old system, grinding to unlock operators free wasn't especially quick, but very doable, and that's what's important. It's like with the Marvel Avengers game that had come out a couple of years ago, you had to grind and grind and grind and grind. It was endless and it was so hard to unlock everything. Luckily, this game was not like that, but now it's really gotten closer to it because users are discovering by running the numbers, Ubi's new equation for renown gain severely punishes losing. Now you only get 7 renown for winning a round. If you lose 0 to 3 with 1,000 score, you're only getting a 38. And to compensate for lower match renown, Siege X has introduced 2 new ways to earn them, 1,000 for leveling up and 500 for playing 2 matches per day, and that of course is just really unfortunate to hear. But to top that off, while Ubisoft has gotten stingy with renown, it is at the same time that they're upselling the most expensive microtransactions it has ever offered, like a $50 Valkyrie skin called the Quintessence of Form. Now, this doesn't look terrible. Would I personally pay $50 for it? Absolutely fucking not. But there are people out there who want to collect all of the items and they want to enjoy their time in their game looking a very fucking cool way. And instead of actually offering good deals, Ubisoft wants to just milk people for all they're worth because they just figure, well, while 10 people might not buy it, at least 2 or 3 whales will go out and buy it. So that's all that really matters, which is a terrible mentality. You should price things slightly lower so you can get even more people to buy it. And that means more people will feel apt to stick around in a year or two. You might put out new content and those people will remember, you guys scammed me, so I'm not buying into your latest costume or weapon skin, whatever it might be. Whereas if it was a lower price and people had a favorable image of you, they would be more willing to spend their money on you. And we know why Ubisoft is doing this. It's because they are fucking desperate. 2024 was an abysmal year for them, and 2025 isn't looking much better. Let's look at the flops of 2024 for them. First of all was their quadruple A title, Skull and Bones. I know that they have continued to try to update this. It hasn't captured anybody's attention. Fans were not happy with the content they created. The graphics were outdated, the water physics were lackluster, and there was no scope for combat on land, which they have changed. But it was a year later, which is just unacceptable in my opinion. You had Star Wars Outlaws, which had the largest marketing budget they'd ever put towards a video game. It makes sense because it's Star Wars. And that also failed to make waves because it underperformed, they said. They didn't really give us any specifics other than it just didn't do that good. And I can't say I'm shocked. The state of Star Wars is bad right now. The state of Ubisoft is bad right now. And then you pair that with all of the bugs and glitches that were, consuming this game at launch. Why would anybody buy this? I mean, I personally bought it so that I could stream it, but I couldn't even finish the game because it was so freaking broken. If I was an average consumer, there's no way I would have touched it. X Defiant came out. This was supposed to be the COD killer. It was delayed several times, launched, and failed to capture people's attentions. X Defiant is dead now. The servers are down. You can no longer play it. And, well, unfortunately, after years and years and years of, supposedly making the best FPS, it failed. I think we all know where this is going. And then, of course, we have Assassin's Creed Shadows, which they tried to say was a success based off of player numbers, but they never gave us sales figures or units sold because clearly they wanted it to seem like the number was significantly higher due to Ubisoft's subscription service. They had a lot of people who played it that way, and we're never going to get the truth about this. They are making DLC, though. That was always the plan. Just seems like they're kind of barreling forward with it, though. Regardless, Ubisoft is in a very shit position right now, and it's so sad that this has happened because they have so many great franchises and characters and stories they could tell, but they just don't know how to make entertaining content anymore. And then you have this, where just a few weeks ago they were praised for their Men's Mental Health Awareness Month post, and now I have to sit here and absolutely wreck them for their predatory and scummy microtransactions and the fact that they have slowed the free currency to almost nothing while dropping their most expensive skins in a decade. So of course I'll be keeping my eye on this situation, but greedy Ubisoft is back at it again. Though that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, so I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.